All right, what's up? Welcome to the Woodward Pistons Podcast. As you can see, we got a full house today. We rocking it out with our main man. We got the special attraction today. Woodward Heavyweights, Woodward everything.
Yeah.
We got Speakeasy in the building, man. Mr. Easy. What's good, sir?
What up, though? Thank you for having me.
Hey, definitely. And as always, we got the Morning Woodward Show alum down there, Mr. Jeff Iafredi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
And
The legend.
the legend.
Don't do it.
Play it up
Don't
for
do
us
it.
today. Play it up for us today.
Hey, long time voice of Detroit Pistons.
Let's go.
In Detroit, Rob Beard.
Rob here. Let's go. That's the crowd. They're going wild.
Man, we need James Mason to do that intro for him, dude.
But, hey, look, I know we got some good weather coming up here soon. I saw 80s in the forecast next week.
Yeah.
Anything you guys got special? Anything planned real quick before we get into the talk?
I'm headed straight to Jeff's crib to bust his ass. With some hoops. I'm just saying.
No, you ain't.
I'm just saying.
No, you ain't.
That's what. Hey, I'm inviting you guys too. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but I'm just doing.
Hey, let's go. You know, right. I'm trying to hoop.
I'm down. I honestly got my
In the post, I'm done though.
Yeah.
In the post, I'm done.
Oh, for sure.
You back me down.
Anything you getting into, Rod?
No, it's about the new job now. It's just it's being at the desk and editing and getting into the flow of that. I'll find some stuff to do in probably June or July.
Yeah. Hey, look, we got to get you back to South Beach now, though. We have to figure out, now that you're not on the beat, how to get you down there regularly, man.
Well, there's the NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists, is in Vegas, so that's a close second. We can do that.
That's dope.
Definitely got to make that happen. Get those views out on the beach. Hey, guys, South Beach.
Could Rob
South Beach, we will get on the calendar at some point. That has to happen too.
Hey, let's make it work.
Could a younger Rod Beard bust Jeff's ass in basketball back in the day? Or maybe even now?
Yeah, he's confident.
Probably back then, back in the day. 20-something Rod Beard was a
he was a dog.
He was just all over the place. He defense, steals, everything else, setting picks, cutting, doing everything. This age, Rod Beard is sit in the corner, and I would be the perfect two in Dwayne Casey's offense. Put me in the corner.
Now, here's a real question: would 20-year-old Rod Beard dunk on Jeff?
Why am I getting dunked on? What's going on with me? Why not Easy?
Easy started it.
I'm getting dunked on for sure.
Not dunk on. I might dunk and he would be in the vicinity, but not necessarily dunk on. Not dunk on.
Just like, well, I mean, what I do?
I'd be in the area code, but maybe not dunk down. We'll see.
Hey, make that business decision, bro.
Yeah, you got to make a business decision.
Run. Shoot, but hey, let's get into it, man. I know that Mr. Terry Foster, he kind of inspired this subject. If you guys have not seen the Dennis Rodman preview, the special,
it's hilarious.
It's hilarious, man. Terry Foster, he told us, he promised to give us 10 things that we wouldn't know about Dennis Rodman and the Bad Boys.
I can imagine.
One of those things was a nickname that he had for Isaiah Thomas. You want to tell him? What was that nickname that Terry Foster said he had for Zeke at the end of his career?
The fact that he put booty in the name, like I don't know where the origin comes from, but I just know when Terry says a nickname, all right, you know what, I get it.
All right.
But you guys heard the story though.
Yes.
What was the story? Like, how did he get that nickname and apply it? Like, especially the nickname like that.
All right, listen, the nickname. I'm gonna tell Easy. I feel like he will do this nickname justice.
Why the
that's the nickname for
why
Zeke,
the
bro.
Juicy though?
I'll tell the story and then we'll get into
all right.
the nicknames. But you got to say the name first.
I gotta say it.
You got to say it. You're the special guest.
It's weird. This juicy booty.
That's the nickname, Juicy Booty. That Terry Foster had for Zeke.
I'm uncomfortable. We got to call HR. Something's going on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Rod, we got 3 guys in one room saying Juicy Booty. I mean, this ain't.
No,
He said,
This is not ideal.
I just had to have Kool-Aid whisper juicy booty in my ear, bro.
That's even worse. That's
even worse.
That was worse.
Listen, Stick called him the Kyle Lowry of his day, man. Hey, Stick is right there, giving us pleasantries. I think he's waving. He's waving with one finger. Okay, but look. It did inspire this thing because everybody in the comments when we posted it started saying, yo, I found some other funny nicknames or I've called this person this. I wanted to ask you guys, and I'm sure you're probably fully prepared for this. What's the funniest nickname you've ever heard or given to an athlete, celebrity, anything? And I know Jeff said he has some stuff too.
I got two.
We want to start.
I got two that I know of and I love, and then I got one that I feel like I made. I don't know if I could take credit for it, but two I like is Motorcade for Cade Cunningham. I love that nickname. Yeah. And then I like Babyface Assassin. Before Steph Curry, move aside. I think Babyface Assassin is Isaiah Thomas. That man is Babyface Assassin. Now, one that I feel like I've made, and I'm taking credit for it. I don't care. All right, I'm copywriting it. Sadiq Trey.
You know, I haven't heard that one.
I like that one.
That's one that I like. I'm holding up. I'm by myself watching Pistons games. He hits a three. Sadiq Trey. All right, that's my guy.
I like that one. Hey, Rod, what do you think about that one? I know Sadiq Bey, he's taking some steps forward. You've really gotten to profile him. You've gotten a little bit of a personal relationship this season with him. Does that name fit? Does it fly?
Yeah, it kind of fits. It kind of fits. He's one, you got to find one that you just say, that's it, and that's that dude. And I don't know. I mean, when he was talking about the Joker before, and that was his inspiration for the green kind of streak in his hair, I think that fits and that's appropriate too. But it's hard to get a nickname that goes and sticks to a guy. Yeah. Like Beef Stew. Beef Stew, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it fits what he is. It's just that's just what he does. Yeah. Meat potatoes, that's it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, that one fits, man. I'm trying to think. Sadiq Bey. I like the Sadiq Trey. So for right now, on the power rankings,
yeah, for right now that works.
Let that one be up there. But hey, everybody comments. What's the nickname for Sadiq Bey? What is it? What are we calling him this year? Is it Sadiq Trey? Is it something else? Hey, Bey, whatever it is.
I like saying Hey, Bey, yeah.
Hey, Bey. Hey, I like that one
too. Sadiq Trey is nice, though, too.
I like that one, man.
Each of these guys can get like 10 nicknames. I mean, we'll get them all. I think Cade has like 5 right now.
The nicknames will come with the wins, though, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's when it happens. Like, announcer will just say something, it'll just stick.
In moments, I feel like there'll be moments where guys will form those nicknames. Like whether you're in the playoffs or something will happen where you like Isaiah Thomas, Babyface Assassin. He did some work to be called stuff like that. Yeah. So who knows?
Yep. But what about you, Easy?
I don't really. I mean, off the top of my head, for
best like something, man. What is it?
Or maybe one you've heard you just thought was funny.
Yes, one that we used to grow up with this dude. We used to call him Dabu. That was his name, Dabu.
Why Dabu?
His brother was Jabu, so he was Dabu.
Yeah,
Look,
that was their birth names. This is what we call them.
Listen, I don't know what to call this nickname. Okay, and this kid, he gave this nickname to himself, and he backed it up. All right.
Okay.
Listen, he was disabled. He had one arm.
Oh my God.
He had one arm. Here. Now listen.
You're gonna cancel, man.
Listen to me. I'm serious. No, he called himself. His name was Chris. He called himself C-Nub. I'm dead
that's
serious.
Nice.
Yeah,
but listen,
wrong with that. I mean,
one of the coldest basketball players I've ever known, man.
That's a cold nickname.
I'm dead serious. Like
C-Nub.
C-Nub. He was out there crossing people over. He was doing it. He was getting it in. I was like, you know what? That nickname, I think, just because of the way he did it justice, I got to put that in my pantheon of nicknames, man.
And it ain't like you called him C-Nub. Like he kind of formed that nickname on himself. Yeah, so it's fine.
Like he formed it himself. I was like, you know what? Yeah. I'll rock with it. He played on the basketball team. He was one of the better players on the team. I'm still to this day amazed. Yeah,
the way that story started, though, I didn't know where it was going.
Exactly.
Hey, look,
I was nervous for a minute.
We had to set the stage, right? Keep you guys on the edge of your seats. But I think that's probably the most unique nickname. I think that the story, all of it behind it, the personal and all that, it just, that name, it sits in the pantheon. Funny nicknames? I don't know.
What was Rod Beard's nickname back in the day when he was hooping?
Rod Buckets.
No, because Buckets wasn't a thing back then. I don't think I had a nickname. I don't think I had it.
Roddy Baskets.
I feel like he's lying to us, man. I can see it in his face.
No. I would tell you. I can't think of one. That, it was just like Hot Rod or Roddy Piper used to be, but not a basketball specific one.
I like Hot Rod too. Like imagine that.
Yeah.
That was dope, man.
What was yours? It's always been cool. Yeah, when you were hooping, what was your nickname?
When I was hooping, bro, they called me Elusive.
I like that.
They called me Elusive. I didn't give myself that name for the longest. I was like, I don't even like that name. And then I just kept making it like all my gamer tags.
Are you just quick? Were you just quick?
No, that's the thing. I am slow-footed. I'm 6'1", shoe size is like 14. I'm not like somebody that's out there getting it. But they just couldn't understand why I could get to anywhere on the court I wanted to get to. And I'll take that.
That's how slow-footed basketball players are, though.
It was more methodical.
Like 2 steps like where they want to be. Like,
but I'm telling
really
you,
is.
I'm nowhere near Cade's level of playing, but his style of game, that methodical, that pace, that, I can kind of see what's going on. You're not just walking up to me and ripping the ball from me.
Right.
That's the style of play that I had to adopt to because I'm not the fastest person.
Yeah.
Not at all. So they were just like, trap him. All right, spin move, dribble between the legs, split the defense. That's what it was. And it started to become this thing where they were like, hey, elusive.
I bet High Rod stripped that ball from you. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, he ain't dunking on me like he dunking on Jeff, though.
Dunking near Jeff.
Yo, we got to get this going, though. I know Jeff and we're going to rope easy into this so he can go out there and antagonize people for us. But we're about to get out there. We're going to start hooping with people, talking Pistons. Yep. Get some good topics going on out there. Yeah, man, get some good content going out there. And Rod, if I do dunk on somebody, you guys got to understand. I'm going to talk about that on this pod for like the next 3 years.
I'll back you up. I'll be like, I was there. I saw it.
We just put in the intro. That's all
I saw it.
I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to sit
put
up
in
here
the
like
intro.
a king for like weeks. I'm like, I dunked on somebody or in the vicinity of somebody.
No, I'm going to be like one of the people on the news, like when they interview this witness to whatever happened. Hey, I saw it. I was over and I was minding my business. And then this dude just came down the lane. This other dude just tried to slide over and help.
They had to call the ambulance.
Bang. Yeah. So, and then it was just smoke everywhere. That's all I saw.
Smoke everywhere.
You know what? If I dunk on somebody, that's the new nickname right there. Smoke. Okay, we'll do that. Any other nicknames, man?
That's about it. People used to call what?
What's the funniest nickname that we could give to any current Piston player right now?
I mean, Beast was kind of a little funny.
Current one, like I said, it's tough right now because now I feel like right now
Chop
it's
liver. You could probably go chop liver.
Oh, chop liver.
Yeah, chop livers. I mean,
easy, man. That's why he's called easy.
Isn't chop liver? Isn't that like if you're saying like your chopped liver? Isn't that like an
Yeah, that's a slight, but I mean, you can say not chopped. I mean, that's too many syllables after.
Not chopped. Not so much chopped livers.
Not so much.
Mr. in his bag. I mean, I don't know. For Bagley,
I feel like there's got to be one for Killian out there. That like his name is too
killing him. Is that Killian?
I like
something,
that
man.
one if he actually starts to get it going, man.
If he
Like, starts to get it going, that's it right there.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the year, man, I was really Rod. Do you know what's going on with him, or do you guys know what's going on? Did he leave the States, or did he stay here?
I would imagine he went. He took a little trip and went somewhere. I mean, that's that European influence. He probably went somewhere, but they were adamant that he's shooting 1,000 threes a day. That
he's at least shooting there.
That's what's up.
He's at least shooting. Hey, hopefully Will Bynum is still out there with him, man. I know Bynum did a lot of work with him pre-draft and all that. So get that American play going. Play pickup basketball with Killian Hayes. Play it seriously.
Just take him out on Dexter and Davison and just play with some dudes. Hey, there are no fouls. It's just Dexter and Davison. You just out here.
No foul.
Don't call it
Killian.
You don't call the fouls out there, man.
I want to see Killian Versada 1-on-1.
Let's go.
Happen.
You cannot call a foul, and you have to score. You have to go 1-on-1 with these dudes. Yeah. And I think that's what he said he's needed. And they said what Dwayne Casey said is, and this was taken out of context a little bit, is he needs to be Americanized. That when we grew up and we played pickup ball, it was very much when you lose, you're off the court.
Right.
Yep.
And he grew up in European kind of club ball where everything was organized and everything was very here we're practicing, we're playing, these are the guys, and you're playing at a pro level. And it's much different than when you lose and you got to wait 4 games to get back on the court. When it's point, you're going to play that a little bit differently than in a club situation when you're practicing.
Yeah.
So
you need to get them out there with them dudes that don't cut their fingernails.
Those ones, you come home, you got scratches all over.
I know.
Like, where were you at?
Dude, I know what you're talking about.
Battle scars and everything. Yep. But I did want to get into one of Killian's teammates that I'm hoping is here with him next year and for the long term. Me personally, look, I'm a Jerami Grant supporter. I like him here. I think that the extension personally is a steal. We've paid Andre Drummond that money before. But I wanted to ask people, not the same question that everybody else is asking themselves. Should we sign him? Should we not? I want to ask this. If Troy Weaver decides that Jerami Grant is worth the extension, what are you expecting to see out of Jerami Grant?
Well, one thing we actually saw this year is him kind of take a step back and let Cade, kind of take over in terms of shot attempts. Yes. So all that, I mean, the problem I have with Jerami is nothing obviously personal. Like I like Jerami Grant a whole lot. It really comes down to what is Jerami Grant? Like let's say you do win a championship, he's probably going to be your third or fourth best player, probably third in today's NBA. I don't think he's your second, and certainly you could argue he's your third. And if you're going to pay him close to $30 million for 4 years, although I agree with you that, we've given money out like that before, I just think it does tie you up a little bit. But again, every team that's winning needs a guy like Jerami Grant. I mean, look around in the NBA right now. You need a guy that, 6'9", can guard multiple positions, can go get a bucket, can shoot, somewhat efficiently. So I don't think the fit is the argument. It's really just like long term, because I feel like Jerami is Jerami right now. Like, I don't think Jeremy's going to take, what we got when he first came here, the 23 points a game. Yeah. That was Jerami right there. Like, I don't see with Cade and more talent being added, he's obviously not going to go, increase his points, obviously. So that's where I hesitate is what is Jerami when your team is winning, and what is he getting paid? But everything else, I love Jerami. I think the fit makes sense. That's what worries me, especially if you draft a guy like Jabari Smith. I mean, where does that leave Jerami Grant? You get what I'm saying?
I do. With the fit. Oh, you go, Rod. Definitely.
No, and I think I got a boogie here, but I think that the thing with Jerami is he's got to be an efficient shooter, a dependable defender, and he's got to be just that 20, 22 points a game, and he's got to be able to pass and find guys. So he's got to work off of Cade, and Cade's got to work off of him. So if you give me 20 points and let's say 4 or 5 assists, somewhere in that zone where he's drawing defenders to him and then kicking out to somebody else for an open shot that they hit, that's the maximum that you're going to get for that. And then just a solid defender, and just healthy. I think that's the biggest thing that threw him off this year was just being healthy.
Right. Yep. And my thing, and I know you said you got a boogie, so definitely appreciate you being here.
Thank you,
If you have to rock, definitely rock.
Yeah, shout out.
Rod. Yeah, definitely the legend.
The legend.
All right.
No, gentlemen, I know you got a good show. Finish it out. We'll take a look at it. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Rod.
Thank you, man. And we'll get this barbecue going.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Gas, use gas.
Hey, we're gonna do it.
Yes, definitely.
This is my first time doing it. We're gonna make the content. I need you there too.
All right, I'm down. You said barbecue, so I'm there.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah, say less.
We're gonna do it. Hey, I like that. But yeah, with Jerami Grant.
Do you want me to switch the thing, or you doing multi-quarters?
I think I'm doing multi-quarter as well, but we can switch it. If we can switch right now, we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to be safe. All right, I think it's multi-quarter on, right?
Yeah.
All right,
You should be. You just take it.
Gucci.
But with Jerami Grant, this is what I caution with people. I believe that where the NBA is going, Jabari Smith and Jerami Grant don't cancel each other out, just like Jerami Grant and Sadiq Bey don't cancel each other out. Depending on where this team is going with the fit, with the makeup, with the style that they're going to play, I see them almost going positionless with only maybe 1 or 2 ball handlers on the court, like actual guards on the court at a time, and 1 rim rolling pick and roll type big, and everybody else, I can see them running lineups where it's Jabari Smith, Sadiq Bey, and Jerami Grant with Cade, and just a rim running big man like Bagley. That lineup is a death lineup if all those guys are on. If those guys are on. And what I caution is, I think when people think $28 million for Jerami Grant, I think people believe, hey, that's star type money. He's going to be competing against or with Cade. That's not the case. If we're looking at Cade as the number 1 option, that boy is making 30, 35, 40 million down the road.
Right.
And Jerami Grant is going to still be where he's at. I look at Grant more as a third option if this team is at full capacity. And then that's what you have to ask yourself for the third option. What are you willing, if you're going out to sign your big 3, what are you paying your third option? And that's where it gets interesting for me, because I believe that Jerami Grant is a tremendously better player personally than Jalen Brunson.
Oh, yeah, I believe that too.
But Brunson's literally about to get 20, 25, 30 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Grant's going to be locked in long term for 28 million. That means that every single year of that contract, he's going to, if the fits work, and that's a big if, that means that he becomes a little bit more affordable. And that's the only angle I'm looking at. Is like, I think he'll be that third player. I think whoever we draft this year, if it's in that top 4, the push needs to be that they're playing Robin to Cade Cunningham.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then who's that third? Who are you willing to pay that $30 million to if it's not a player like Jerami Grant?
I think the issue, if you're not extending Jerami Grant, There's a big hole in this team for a wing at that point. And in that case scenario, I mean, if we move him and then it ends up getting addressed in the draft, like that would be ideal, obviously. But paying him $28 to $30 million now, I know it sounds like bad, but ultimately in the long run, it really won't be, because this team will be mostly comprised of rookie contracts, guys that are balling off their rookie deals. That's allowing you to afford Jerami Grant at $30 million. And I just took a quick look right now on my phone. That's what I was doing while you were talking.
Yeah.
At the top, top paid NBA athletes.
That's what I was going to. Yeah.
Yeah. So at 28, if he's getting paid 28, he's getting paid what Jason Tatum's getting paid right now, which is kind of crazy. But there's still a bunch of names. I mean, Bam Adebayo's being paid more than that. Jamal Murray, Gordon Hayward. So it's like
Pascal Siakam getting $34 million.
Al Horford,
Michael Porter Jr. $34 million.
Kevin Love's getting paid more. Like, it's not a ridiculous amount, and this isn't the NFL to where like you're stuck paying that money. Yeah. The NBA, if the trade was ever made, that cap translates to whatever they're getting back.
And I'll say this too: I think the difference between Jason Tatum, Bam Adebayo, and Michael Porter, even I know he's overpaid, is these teams are projecting where they're gonna be. Jerami Grant right now is 28 years old, and that's no problem. But in 4 years, Jerami Grant's gonna be 32 years old. So you're telling me at 32 years old making $28 million, or even before that, let's say 31 the year prior, is he still going to be a 22 to 23 point per game scorer? I hope so. I think that's what we all expect from him. I think my hesitancy comes from I want the Pistons to eventually, I don't think it's this offseason because you look around who's available. Hell no to Jalen Brunson. You're not getting DeAndre and you're not getting Miles Bridges. But in the future, when there's guys that are legitimate guys that are in free agency that you can go pay $30 million to, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I'd rather get rid of Jerami and have that $30 million to throw at these guys, because you got to think this time is going to come quick. Like Sadiq Bey, Killian, I put Killian aside. It's really Sadiq Bey. When it's time to get paid, you're going to have to take care of these guys. And then you have another draft next year and the year prior, so it's just a continuing cycle. So really with Jerami, my problem is it's not like Jerami's 25 at Denver. Like if he was in Denver or Oklahoma City Thunder, like if you were to pay him at the time and you're projecting him to be where he is now, I just feel like Jerami has hit his ceiling. Like I feel like he is what he is right now. He's a 20-point per game guy. Like Rod said, he's got to get better in a lot of different areas.
That's what makes him the perfect third option on a winning team.
Yes.
As a vet.
Yes.
As somebody where we don't have to go then and spread that same money out around 3 or 4 vet guys off the bench to do what Jerami.
And I wouldn't want to do that. Don't get rid of Jerami for 3 or 4 vet guys. I would rather get rid of Jerami and go get, I'm not saying go get him, but let's just say you could get a, Paul George, like someone like that you could pay $35 million to. So that's where I hesitate a little bit. But with Jerami, I love him. I think, you saw the team when they were healthy playing together this year. They were starting to win games. I mean, before Jerami went down. So clearly the fit's there, and he's kind of right now one of the leaders on the team. He had 28 years old.
And real quick, to be honest, too, like even if we're paying Jerami Grant $30 million, that's not stopping us from paying another guy $30 million. Like we see these super teams
Griffin's money coming
comprised. We have that money, and we just see these teams comprised of like 3 guys getting paid $30 million. I honestly more. I just looked up KD's $40 million. I'm looking up Kyrie right now. Hold on one sec. Kyrie, $36 million. So it's like you could pay a guy that and still pay another gentleman
but
more money.
The difference with Brooklyn is a lot of those guys are 1-year deals because like they can't afford to pay anybody. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like you get put in a position where you're going to have to. We're not a contender. Like no one's going to come join us for a $1.1 million for 1 year. Like you do for Brooklyn, like Blake did for Brooklyn or LaMarcus did for Brooklyn. So it's different. Like if Brooklyn was trying to build a legitimate roster, which you see it right now. It's tough. Like they just traded for Ben Simmons, another guy who's making $30 million, and they're tied up. So a lot of it has to do with Troy Weaver spent so much time clearing cap space and getting us in the right position. I just don't want to be in 2-3 years down the road from now, and you're like, oh damn, we got a contract.
I feel you on that, but people said those same things when he first threw the 20 a year at Jerami Grant. He proved to be. Would you say that he's outperforming his value right
Absolutely.
now?
Oh yeah,
that
for sure.
means that how much is the margin then? Is he performing as a $25 million player? So then what? We don't want to throw a guy who's coming here and prove his value.
Listen, I think I'm the wrong person to ask because I was saying trade him last season. I'm ready to trade Jerami right now. And so it's not like for me, when he got signed, I'm like, okay, all right, 3 years for 60, but I'm good with it because I know, this is obviously a planned move. And I think he was paying him more so like, hey, this is what we expect, what role you're going to play. And he did it. He outperformed his contract. I was never a guy that said, let's re-sign him. But certainly right now, looking at this free agency class, I mean, I think I wouldn't have a problem if they did, because who the hell else are you going to go out and, like you said, spend $25 million on Jalen Brunson? No.
That's what I'm.
Hell
That's
no.
where I'm more or less looking at. And it's not if we don't sign somebody.
There's a hole at the
sign
wing
Jeremy
position,
Grant.
too.
It's just I actually believe intrinsically from just a basketball standpoint that Jeremy Grant, aside from anything we think he can bring on the court, I believe that Jeremy Grant is the foremost foundational piece in that locker room. All of those players look up to him. And when you're talking about, and not foundational as it relates to our star player, that's Cade.
Right.
But as it relates to that player that's a glue player, that player, like, we're not winning that championship without Tayshaun Prince. Obviously, he wasn't getting paid what Jeremy Grant's getting paid. But I do believe that Jeremy Grant is that type of player to hold a team together that can take growing pains, that can take chemistry issues and say, you know what, give me the rock. I got this. It's the end of the game. Hey, Cade, I get it. I've deferred to you all game. If you're taking some hits or they're not giving you foul calls, or if they're double and triple teaming you, I'm being single teamed on the block. Is there anybody else on this team right now or that we can sign that if Cade is double teamed, he's getting us a bucket at the end of the game, or he's going to get fouled or this? Those are the things when I look at Jeremy Grant that I have not seen in a Pistons jersey. Tobias Harris didn't do that for us. Pick a wing. We got to go back to Tayshaun Prince when we knew we can drop the ball down to him, and we're going to, more times than not, come away with at least 1 point. And when you look at those types of like points per possession types things, that's what really gets me interested about Jeremy Grant, because he wants to be here. It's a brilliant deal by Troy. Jeremy Grant, realistically, going into this contract, should be eligible for $35, $40 million contracts. Tobias got that type of deal.
Oh, Tobias.
When I'm looking at the guys who got those types of deals in the area or the range that Jeremy Grant is, I feel like Jeremy Grant is a better player than these guys.
Yeah, we
Tobias
hot
could score his
commodity.
tail off, but he was not a two-way player.
What's Tobias getting paid?
Like 35. Let me find him real quick.
Yeah, and they're regretting that.
36.
One thing I wanted to say too. Well, damn. So
Yeah, they're regretting. That's where I
We're
don't
getting
want
my
to
discount.
do. Right?
Yeah. One thing I want to say too,
Yeah.
to like the point of like the Nets, like they're surrounding their team with a bunch of guys on 1 year deals. They also traded for James Harden, which like kind of left them empty-handed a bit, where they have to sign guys on 1 year deals. You know, where we're like, I mean, we got guys now that we're drafting because Troy was a drafting MF. Like he's doing the damn thing. I was never sold on like sitting Jeremy Grant until this actual conversation. To be honest with you, like you're actually like, I just don't care. I guess I wouldn't care. I would question if we lost him, but also I don't think it hurts us to keep him because it is the only $30 million. We could still grab another guy on 30 plus,
Right?
and he's still
Jeff's
valuable
point.
on the trade market, though. You know?
To Jeff's point, I said this before. If we trade him to, say, Portland and get another top 10
I was
pick,
just going to ask you that.
by all means.
Okay, then.
By all
all
means.
right.
Trust me, I'm all in line with
Anthony.
what Troy Weaver was saying.
Okay.
If there are, give me my 2 first-round picks during the season, or give me my 1 top 10, top 12 pick during the actual draft, trade them. I'm fine with that because I trust Troy Weaver with 2 top 10 picks. Look what
Right.
he did with 3 top, 22 picks. That was Killian, Sadiq Bey, and Isaiah Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not saying just keep him, just to keep him, or I like him because I just personally like Jeremy Grant. The fit on this team with what they're heading into now, if they don't get to trade him, I would re-sign him. But if you can trade him and get a draft pick, I would do that.
And I think it's important right now, like what we're doing is preparing for anything. Like you're preparing for an extension, and that's fine. Like at this point, I'm like, you don't want to sit here and be like, oh, he's going to be traded. Like you don't know at this point. Like Jeremy and how he's shown to be important to this team. I think that's what Rod hit on earlier. That I loved what he said. What he needs to improve on. And I think another thing he needs to improve on is the more young talent this team, accumulates and gets like a Jabari Smith or whatever, is I'm not saying that, you want Jeremy to just take a complete back seat, but there is times where you look at Jeremy and you're like, he's a ball stopper at times.
Yes.
So if those types of tendencies tend to go away when Sadiq Bey wants to take the next step, you have Jabari Smith. I'm just saying Jabari Smith, could be anybody, Paulo or whatever, want to take the next step, Cade trying to take the next step. You'd hope that, Jeremy in that instance would be like, okay, maybe I do go back to my role like in Denver or Oklahoma when you have more guys around you and he's still not like, all right, give me the ball.
Yep.
Jabari, go sit in the corner. That's what I don't want to happen. But again,
And to be fair to that point, like the one thing that I miss, I think, or underestimated with Jeremy Grant is the role he played in Denver. He didn't know he was playing.
but true.
Now he's the man, and now he's being asked, "Hey, play that role you played in Denver." And he's like, "But I
hard
was
to.
a young player, just playing my role, like just playing."
That's
my
a great
position."
point. Yeah, that's a great point.
And what we saw him do during the season is start to figure out, you know what?
Yes.
I like these guys. I told the city of Detroit, I like this city. I like Troy Weaver. I've known him for a long time. I love Coach Casey. We saw him say, you know what? I have to figure out a way to get better. And that's the thing.
For the team.
For the team.
For the team.
Those are the types of players. If Jerami Grant was asking for anything more, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Just to be honest.
I'm sorry. No, I was like, you pull up his stats section. I'm kind of curious in like the second half if he did start shooting more efficiently, because it did almost seem like he took that step back and allowed Cade and the rest of the crew to like do their thing.
Yeah, because it's a tough thing. Jeff presents great points. He's presenting points that I don't hear other people who say don't sign Jerami Grant present. And so I respect that.
Or like,
I mean, he did. Towards the end of the season, you saw, like, in terms of shot attempts, like, Cade was taking, like, somewhere between, like, 12, 14 shot attempts. But as the season went on, it went to 15, 17, 20 attempts.
Yeah.
And then you saw Jeremy's go from 20 to 17. Like, it was almost, like, reverse. So that's something I can't appreciate. Like, for anybody to acknowledge that, like, everybody hates that guy on your team. That, like, hey, man, I'm open. And he's still, Russell Westbrook.
Hey, hold on. And when did he do it?
Right when the Pistons
in a
started.
pseudo-contract year?
Yeah.
You got to understand.
True.
That's what I'm saying. When I'm looking at Jerami Grant, when I'm looking at the players we want, we all know that Piston players signed here that win, there's a little bit more that they bring to the table than just their stats.
Right.
Those intrinsic values, I think, is what tugs on me a little bit more. Obviously, they don't weigh more than another top 10 or top 12 pick.
Yeah.
But
Jeremy has more of those than Jalen Brunson. More of those other values. So to your point.
Yep. And that's what I'm talking about. Like when I look at it, I'm just like, all right, if he can learn to play this role, is he worth that 28.5? If he can learn to not be that ball stopper, if he can learn to, and it's not like he's trying to be. They told him last year, be that. We know that the game plan for the last 3 years was give the ball to Blake Griffin, clear out. Then they signed Jerami Grant and said, give the ball to Jerami Grant, clear out. Same thing. Then they came in this year and said, oh, we got hoopers. We got people that can run. And the injuries messed that up. The offseason kind of messed that up. Sadiq Bey was tired. Now, we talked about that. Cade, work your tail off, bro. But as we get to the season, take a break.
Yeah.
We don't need any of them coming in not being able to develop that chemistry in camp. Like, we need that. And so with Jerami Grant, I just believe it boils down really to I think we're all in agreement. If you can get a top 10, top 12 pick, you have to trade him.
Yeah.
I'm even a little nervous there though too, because like I don't know. I do trust Troy, so maybe I'm not. But I just like you look at the NBA draft and like years past is like anything outside that top 3 is really such a dice roll.
Yeah,
you can get a top 10. It sounds nice because it's top 10, but doesn't guarantee that top 10 guy.
And I was asking,
produce or be anything for you.
And I brought this up on the podcast with Sean too. If you look around the NBA, man, some of these superstars are they top 3 picks? No. They're top. Look at Dame Lillard. Where was he taken? So like some of these guys, that's why I don't, overreact to where. That's why the question you brought up: do you have to get a top 3 pick? Like in my opinion, you don't, because it's about who's evaluating these players, especially this year in this NBA draft. I feel like this draft is a little more. I know there's tiers. If you talk to a lot of NBA GMs,
the best year to have a Troy Weaver.
Yes, that's the perfect way to say it. Because if you
hold on, say that one more time. One more time.
I said, it's the best year to have a Troy Weaver.
It is. If you talk to GMs, they're like, hey, there's tiers in this draft. There's Jabari, Chet, and Paulo, and then there's a drop off. I don't think there's that much of a drop off. Like maybe, of course, there's going to be, but still, Keegan Murray. Like there's guys out there that I still like. Now, would it be ideal to land at 7? No, but if you get another pick that's at 10 or whatever it is, 9. I'm good with it.
Wasn't dropping to 7 what started all this?
Hey, man.
Dropping to 7 with Killian Hayes. We were at 5.
I was going to say.
And I remember Troy Weaver's face, and I'm like, do it again to him.
Do it again to him.
He went ham in that draft, man. Like, do it again. Like, seriously. No, don't do it again. I want to see. I like his face better when they won that first round, that overall number 1 draft pick.
Right.
But, I think this is good conversation because this is the nitty gritty. I'm tired of hearing people just say, do you want to sign him? Yes or no? No. Because I don't want to pay him the money and that's it.
People think it's so easy.
Yeah, because
it's you got to parse it.
Yeah.
Can I ask this? And I'm like really just curious. I can't think of like any names off the top of my head. And I know you guys have been obviously doing the show for a couple of weeks, but like, if we don't pay him or we do move on from him, is there a void at the wing for us? And who's out there to replace it? That's worth a $30 million, or you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
it's not this year.
Yeah, it's not. It ain't this year. And number 1, I think you lose a lot of that versatility. I mean, like he said, you just named a lineup that was super versatile. If you had Jabari Smith, Jerami Grant, you lose size, but you still have livers. I mean, you have some forwards, but you don't have a 6'9" forward who can play power forward as well. Like Jerami Grant's valuable. Yeah, he can play two positions essentially, both forward positions. So that's what you lose. And honestly, those guys don't really grow on trees around. I mean, there's a couple. That's notice, what I'm saying. And look at the teams that are in the playoffs. Every team has a guy like that. Like for the Atlanta Hawks is the first team that comes to my head. DeAndre Hunter. You think he's going to leave? No, they want to bring him back. You need guys like Jerami who could play defense and hit shots. My only problem was always the ball stopping.
You know, I've cooled off.
Because those other guys are willing to sit in the corner. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't see
DeAndre down. It stopped.
And that slowed down, so I'm okay with it. I'm good with it.
Yeah, honestly, I've cooled off on John Collins too for some reason.
Yeah,
I've been cool on him. I've been like super sure.
I never.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. What were you about to say, bro?
Oh no, just talking through it just now. Like I think it's so crazy. I would not have said this entering the room, but after having the conversation and like asking what other wing options are out there, I think the answer is to extend Grant.
Yeah, because he can still be traded at that.
Exactly. He can still always be traded. Yes.
He's not getting the 35, 36. Yes. Tobias is somebody who comes virtually untradeable because he's only giving you extreme production on one side of the court.
Bingo, right there.
Jerami Grant to a desperate team.
Portland.
Chauncey already said it, man. He wants to be able to win. The Lakers. They tried to go. They made a run.
Yeah.
They made a run.
It's another team.
They cleared their cap sheet.
Anybody would take it. Pelicans,
right. That $28.5 million to the Lakers becomes something very, very crucial because they can lock in a third type of player. You know, your big three type of player, and at a $28.5 million, when AD and LeBron are getting paid what they're getting paid, you need a guy like Jerami Grant to come in and not be getting 35, 36. Because you look at Brooklyn. What are they getting paid at the top?
I was literally just thinking that.
Top heavy.
That's what I'm saying.
Top heavy.
Do you think that they would rather have their contracts look the way the Lakers could if they signed Jerami Grant or the way it's looking right now?
Right.
And so I believe that extension, it locks us in. I think it gives Troy Weaver a great asset in Jerami Grant overall to be able to trade. I'm telling you, these teams are going to stay desperate. We've
100%.
seen teams make stupid trades. Like desperate trades, especially at the deadline.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It happens every year.
And I think another point too, you talking about the salary. I know people when they hear anything $30 million, like we have to understand in like 3-4 years, that $30 million is just going to keep going up.
It's crazy. Even now, we were looking at the list on my phone. It's like in the 40s.
It's crazy. Like Tobias,
if you're making $30 million, you're the 40th highest paid.
The fact that you just said Tobias made like almost 30, that's. I don't know what to say to that. He's a third option on his team. Yeah. Arguably fourth.
And I was going to say, I don't even know if he should be.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. Like, he's now like fourth or maybe.
So that's a perfect example. I mean, we're talking about Jerami being your third option.
I can't believe that's like.
He's fourth option making $35 million.
It's the money. It's not just the stats. I'm telling you, if we were just going based off of just stats and just player that we see on court and highlights, I wouldn't say it. It's the intrinsic things. It's the both ways. It's this team likes him. You know, the next guy coming in, Cade's going to be that guy. Period. So we have to know that Cade is ready, which I believe he is.
And I think some of these answers too. If we watch old Denver tape, if we want to be nerdy enough to watch old Denver tape when he wasn't the guy or a second option,
right?
He probably can revert to that. We saw a little bit towards the end of the year. That's a good conversation.
And that's the toughest part, man. Like, just to close on it, too, is like when you're a player that is given the role like Jerami has, where like you're the man on a team with so many young guys. Like before he's with Denver, he's with Oklahoma City with Russ. Like he's never that dude. And he's not going to go over to Russ and be like, hey, Russ, get out of the way and give me like now in Detroit, it is like 3 seasons, man. You got to tell him to take a step back. Like,
here's one more question on it. Okay. I forgot. The Lakers have a big three.
Nah.
No.
I'll say
in
big
terms
two.
of contracts.
Yeah,
in terms of contracts.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm stating. Think about all of these big threes out there.
Yeah.
I honestly, if Cade, Jabari, and Jerami Grant were here right now, I would look at that big three and I would say, you know what? I might rock with that one over some of these others. With the Lakers right now, they tried. Would they right now take Jerami Grant over Russell Westbrook?
They take Jerami Grant.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And think about it. We are not taking Russell Westbrook for Jerami Grant. That is not what I'm saying. But if there is a deal out there where, hey, they can float a draft pick, they can float maybe some young player we could take a flyer on, I would do it. I think that would work best for both teams. Either the Lakers, obviously Portland, they got the top draft pick.
I would go after Portland because the Lakers don't have a first-round pick for the next couple of years. They're so deep.
For a few years?
Yeah, they traded up for AD, then they got Russell. So I think Portland makes the most sense, man. I think Portland makes too much sense. like fit in terms of what they
too.
need. They're looking for a player like Jimmy Grant, and they have the assets. So it's just like
I feel like it's already done.
It's like
feel
making
like that deal is done almost, man. But we'll get into it later. I want to get into this subject, man. You brought it up. I wish we had Rod on for it. We will begin the next podcast asking him this question.
Perfect.
And that is, how important is it for the Pistons to land in the top 4 of this draft? Their lowest they can land is 7. They have a 93% chance of what? Top 6, I think?
Yeah.
50% chance of top 4, 53%.
I would say if Stan Van Gundy was selecting, it's pivotal.
Yes.
But when you have a guy like, the Lions do in Brett Holmes, or even the Pistons now with Troy Weaver, it's different, man. Like, times are different. Like, Eisenman for the wings, like, times are different. You can afford to, fall to, 5 or 6 and still may end up with the best player in the draft. Like, I still believe that because of what, Troy, and even Troy, you never know, he can move up. He could try, if he really feels like this guy is that dude, he could still make moves. So I got confidence in Troy, man. Like, what he's done in Oklahoma, just his resume speaks for itself. Like, yes, people want to say Killian Hayes. He took Killian because of his upside. Like, he sees upside in a lot of these guys, and he still isn't a finished product. So,
and they stated that too.
Exactly. So that's why I trust what Troy Weaver's doing, man. If they land at 7, you got 6 players ahead of you, so maybe that doesn't sit as well in the stomach. But I don't think it's like, as important you got to land a top 3, top 4 pick, because like I said before, look around the NBA, man. A lot of these superstars aren't always top 3 picks. Not everyone's LeBron James.
Here's a better question here. If they slide to 7,
now we getting.
would you trade that pick? Would you trade back for more shots in this draft or a future first?
Yeah.
That's that. I was thinking about
I would
that. If they hit
just
7,
because the way Troy maneuvers throughout the season, he could turn those picks into guys that are in the league right now.
because if it's not
or
one
any
of
guy.
those, like, because we all agreed that those top 3 for sure, we were hoping that they can project to be at least your second best player behind Cade.
Right.
If it falls, does that 7th pick have the same amount of ability to become whatever we think that they can become as if he turned that into 2 first-round picks?
I think so. Because think about it. When Tyrese Halliburton came out, I wasn't thinking he'd be the player he is today. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, he was a dog, but I didn't think he'd be like, guys can develop. So even if you land, let's say you land a Keegan Murray, or let's say you get a Benedict Mathurin, or, let's say you do get I don't know if they will, but they take a chance on Shaedon Sharpe. I think you're not as confident as, like you said, if you had Jabari, Chet, or Paolo.
Right.
But I'm pretty damn confident still. I like the players that are still there. So now if you fall, if you're at 7, it becomes tough. But again, it just depends on the board falls too.
Yep.
Like, you don't know how the board's going to fall.
I keep feeling like our top 3, if we fall to 7, it's going to happen this way because it's Detroit. The top 3, 4 guys are going to be gone. And then the guys we're saying we want at 6 or 7, watch them shoot up the board and just get picked right before us. And we're sitting here like, what the heck?
It's like Ben, Keegan, Shaedon. Then you're sitting there at 8, 7.
Like Doc Rivers, like. It's like, dog.
Then you're in a tough situation. You going Jalen Duren out of Memphis?
I would. That's what got me thinking. Yo, would you really trade this, knowing that Troy Weaver and his guys have an eye on all these players and more?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, what would you trade it for, man? That 7th pick, if you fail, what's the least you would want? For me, I'm looking for. Usually, when you see swap trade backs, you'll see like a 7-12 trade back, and then maybe like a throw-in player or another player or a second-round pick.
Right.
For that high, I'm looking for 2 first-round picks. I'm looking for 1 in this year, obviously a swap. And if there's somebody that has 2 first rounds, I would do it. I just don't know if the player is there to entice someone to move up.
Right.
But if Keegan Murray's there, if Ben is there, what's some of the other players that are pretty hot?
Who's that kid with the insane?
There's somebody I'm missing.
Insane fucking jump that's trending on Twitter.
Shaedon Sharpe?
Shaedon Sharpe.
Yeah, with the 49-inch vert.
Shaedon Sharpe.
Jalen Duren, another center. Like, there's probably 10 guys, solid guys. And after that, maybe you're getting
it'll have some value, man.
Jaden Hardys and all that.
That pick will still have some value if you decide to pick somebody, if you decide to trade.
Right.
Me personally, if it's not one of those solid guys, I'm all for it. Hey, cause some chaos in this draft. Trade that 7th pick.
Call around the NBA. See if there's a star that people aren't talking about that wants out that people don't know about. Imagine if Donovan Mitchell's like on the low key, like, hey, listen, Utah, get me the hell out of here.
Might be on the low.
What's up with Gobert?
It might be on it, like no one's hearing about it, and
no,
suddenly
we
you
don't
just
want
blockbuster. But I'm just saying, you never know. Go find somebody if not. But I like the young talent, man. On a rookie contract, you get one of these guys to grow with Cade and all the rest of the crew. I'm good with that. I don't want him to trade out of it, but you never know how the board falls. If he's at 7 and he doesn't like who's there, you never know.
Yeah. Yep. Sheesh.
But he found Sadiq, you know,
ready, man.
in late teens.
I'm ready for this lottery. I'm just ready to get into it.
I know, I am too.
I'm ready. How you feeling about it, man?
I'm confident either way, man. The way, I mean, like Jeff said, times are different. The way I trust these general managers in Detroit goes the Heisman, because he's done it. He's got rings, right? And then Troy, honestly, is my second. This is the things I've seen him be able to do to reach back into the first round twice and get Sadiq Bey.
Double dip.
Yeah, and beef stew, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. While also taking the chance on Killian. Like, this is the guy who can do it. Yep. He saw him get Bagley, saw him convert Bagley, bring him back to life almost, it felt like. Like, wherever we land, like it may suck that we get the 7th pick. Like, it might be sick to our stomachs a little bit, but I trust that Troy make the most of it, whether it's a trade back or whether he's actually selecting a guy there.
Yep.
Even if it's down the road, I just trust him, his ability to construct a roster and find talent. It's just, I'm not tripping either way, to be honest with you.
I feel like Troy Weaver, and I respect what Joe Dumars did to build that going to work team, but I feel like Troy Weaver is the first GM where no matter how, it doesn't matter how smart we think we are. Troy Weaver is just smarter than us.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
No, that's how it is.
Listen,
he is.
You said it. We sit here and say, he just maneuvered the first round and got more picks and this and the other guys. He traded core young guys. Think about that. It wasn't just, hey, I traded a pick to get another pick. He traded Luke Kennard, who instantly got the bag from the Clippers, and then he traded Bruce Brown, who was playing a pivotal role, at least, or not pivotal. He's playing a rotational role.
Both those teams are out the playoffs.
They are.
I'll tell you that much.
They are. And what I was saying, to the point is, how many players were up in arms? That was Troy Weaver's first draft. How many fans were up in arms over that? How many people were just sitting here like, yo, why are you trading these guys? Why are you trading Luke?
I wasn't.
I was like, look, I'm ready to see this going. Like, one of the trades, he traded Christian Wood. I'm like, I didn't even know he could be traded.
Yeah, that one was maybe the toughest for me is Christian Wood. But everything else kind of was like, all right. The fact that you were able to – the Luke Kennard trade I was excited about because, listen –
I knew Sadiq was going to be
for us. That draft, when we took Luke Kennard, I had some personal beef with Luke. So I think that just because of that when Donovan Mitchell came in when Donovan Mitchell walked into a workout and didn't miss a shot, and we took Luke Kennard, it's not even Luke. Hey, listen, it's not even Luke's fault. It wasn't even Luke's fault, but by default, he became the enemy. Because actually Stan Van Gundy and Ed Stefanski and all those boneheads. But anyway, that's why he became immediately we had beef. And then ever since when he got traded for another lottery pick, I'm like, all right.
Do you understand how much we have to suppress as Pistons fans? Like, just the fact that we already knew we effed up by not, picking him, but to just rehash the fact that he had a perfect workout.
I know.
That night.
Look at Rod laughing at it.
That night we met Isaiah. I saw the hardest jersey of all time. We always talk about these throwback jerseys that the Pistons go back to teal. The hardest jersey I've seen, some dude was walking around LCA with the practice squad Pistons jersey, 41 Mitchell. I was like, damn.
Oh, damn.
I was like, only the real ones.
I got to get one with a book.
Only the real ones would know, man. Like, I was like, damn.
Real ones do know.
Bro, honestly, I want to cop one too. Like that's smart. That's hard.
Jeez, man. He was the best training camp player ever. The best pre-draft player.
Hey, but you know what? It all led us to Cade. And that's why I'm not
the big picture
now.
Bro, we're going to make that graphic and post that today. I'm going to post that on Woodward Pistons today.
What?
The best pre-draft player in Pistons history. Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell, yeah.
We're going to post that one, man.
That was never taken.
Gracious,
I know. I don't
When that came out, like, I remember they tweeted it out. Like, yo, he didn't miss no shots. I'm like, oh, great. Yo,
like, that's
awesome.
good, yeah.
Jeez. Man, I didn't want to think about that one again, bro.
I had to. So when Luke,
they didn't even give Luke PT.
I know.
That's the craziest part. Like, you drafted this man over this man just to not play him.
To be a role
boy
player.
Rock cracking up, man. Look at him cracking up at this. Dog, go on it. Yo, you're
I'm not even trying to like sound like a hoe either. Like, when the pick happened, This might sound fucked up. I don't know, but I was just like, the white guy? I was like, what the fuck?
Because, well, it's not even because you're seeing it from like a perspective of like, what is his ceiling? Like, he spent 2 years in college already. What is his ceiling? Like, is he going to come out and just like the Tyler Hero? I feel like in a way is a little bit of an anomaly. Like, Tyler Hero's a bucket, man.
Different. He's a dog.
Yeah,
He's
a
dog in him.
bucket, and he doesn't have like Luke doesn't have that game like Tyler Hero. He's just like he came out of college. He's a spot up shooter.
Yeah.
He's a great shooter. What is he now? Great
Tyler's
shooter.
a baller no matter where you put him, man.
There you go.
Yes.
Start him, bench, rotation,
Bucket.
new
And
players.
that was Mitchell, too.
Bucket.
And the fact that if he didn't miss a single shot in your practice, then you know he can shoot the damn ball, too. So you always get the dog in him from watching him in his days in college. And then obviously you see he can shoot. What the fuck were you thinking?
Yes,
there,
we are
SVG?
doing this, y'all. We're just.
I'm sorry,
Now we're
guys.
off the
Yeah,
rails.
we got
But-
it.
But the whole
Needles.
point,
Apologize.
the whole point circles back to when Luke got traded for, I believe it was that 16th pick, or it might have been the 19th pick, whatever one it was.
Yeah.
I was good with it.
Yeah,
Bruce
straight.
Brown, I was a little iffy because I liked
That
Bruce
was
Brown,
weird.
but it was weird. And at the time, I was like, all right, I'll wait. And then once the players were selected, I was a lot more like, all right,
Yeah,
let's
because
roll. Let's
we
do
didn't
it.
even talk about the second round of that same draft.
Yeah.
Was Saban Lee?
Yep, Saban Lee.
Who else?
And then
am
they
I
got the
missing?
guy
missing
Bolvica, the guy who got
We
like
got a whole other draft pick.
Davidas or
who went like overseas and he's playing.
No,
overseas.
it was somebody. It wasn't
Davidas?
Servetus. No. It was somebody else. We got a whole nother draft player. I forgot about that. We stashed him.
Yeah, the guy who plays. He's like 7'1" or something. I don't know what he is.
3-point shooter.
Yo,
Tall ass white dude.
we're gonna we got to research that and bring that one up on the next pod. But you're right. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got those second round picks, and then the next year, I'm excited for the second round. I'm about to start looking at who they're projecting in the second round because Troy Weaver is a monster at that.
Yeah.
He's a monster at that. Saban Lee, Isaiah Livers, Luka Garza. Who else did he pick in the second round? There's a couple more I think I'm missing.
I mean, those the names you said for sure. Like, even if they're not
Standouts.
Yeah, even if they're not like obviously starters or like top tier NBA guys, like I don't know. Isaiah looks promising. I'm not gonna lie, but like, dog, to have taken the gamble on Garza, who we don't know who he's gonna be, but still like respectable take.
And if it doesn't work out, you took him in the second round.
But
It was good.
It already
It has worked.
In
yeah.
the second round, what you're expecting for a guy who's coming to a team where they said they want the Motor City Cruise and the Pistons to run the same thing. You see how much this team calls up their players. Every day you're seeing like, hey, they call them up, they send them down, they call them down. And what did we see when Luka Garza stepped into the lineup? Is he going to be a Marvin Bagley? No. Is he going to be a starting, like, can he be a starting center? I'm never going to say somebody can't be anything. But where he's at right now, he stepped in, he played his role.
Right,
We
100%.
didn't say, yo, this guy sucks, get him off the court. We didn't say, yo, you're going to have to get another, that's a waste of a second round pick. We said this guy steps in and he's playing his role. He's playing tough defense.
Yep.
That's
He
what you
actually
can't say.
gets fouls, and people are not scoring on him. Like, that's what I love about Luka Garza.
Tough,
he gets in
man.
there, he's like, I'm just,
With
you know,
Troy,
I love it.
you can't say a second round pick is going to be a waste. That's what it is for. Like
It's exciting.
you can never say a second round pick.
And look at good
which is
organizations.
amazing.
Like, look at good organizations. Look at the Golden State Warriors and how they were able to draft. They found Jordan Poole when? Like, that is, and not just
when
that.
did he get drafted?
30th, I believe. So, like, if you look at other teams, and the Golden State Warriors have built their entire team really through the draft, I see something similar
man.
with Troy, being able to build that team, and then down the line, you're finding guys at 30, the second round, 15, like Sadiq Bey, and they just start sliding in the lineup and produce.
Look at where he come from in OKC, a small market team, but how they already produced 3 MVPs: KD, Westbrook,
Ibaka.
Harden.
They found Ibaka from the Congo, and look what career he's had, man.
Adams.
Just your talent evaluation.
Come on, bro.
Off the chart.
I'm just over here just.
It's just
taking
like
it all, man.
it's
I'm just over here
just
like,
thinking about it, man. It
the
makes you
dreams of it.
excited.
No, because for real, I'm starting to really, 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 really think about this, and I'm thinking about teams who I know are going to have to change up how they operate moving forward. Brooklyn cannot stay that way.
Right.
Listen, this is completely
Yeah,
hypothetical.
they got it. They have
what I'm about
to
to say
something.
here,
I feel bad for him.
and this we'll kind of wrap up on this. But what if there are teams that are looking to unload their star players, say like a Kevin Durant? What if they're like, look, we can't continue to carry this. We need to be able to build more efficiently. I believe that a player like, it's just hypothetical, Jerami Grant becomes something attractive.
Oh yeah,
When you're talking about
Sure.
the players that they still have.
yeah.
That's where all this cap space coming up and building the way you're saying that the Warriors built and the Pistons are kind of following that model. That's the thing there, as you bring that up, that makes me say, you know what? I don't know if they signed any $30 million players before they got their actual Kevin Durant. Does that make sense? Not
No,
that they
you're
didn't
right.
re-up their draft
You're right.
picks.
You saying what? One more time.
Like, they didn't. If we give Jerami Grant this money right now, do we take ourselves out of the ability to be able to, like Jeff is saying, go out when this
no.
team is solid. With a Troy Weaver, I get what you're saying. I get it a lot more now. With a Troy Weaver, we can assume that every pick is about to be something.
And you're going to have to pay them all.
And you're going to have to pay them like the Warriors did. And then when that superstar is out there, like how many superstars have we heard sing the praises of Cade? I'm talking about older ones who, if we throw them $40 million, they will come. They will 40, 45. They will come to Detroit. They will say, you know what? They got a solid young team. I could come here. I don't even have to be the man. Kevin Durant's not trying to be the man. He's like, yo, I'm trying to hoop.
Just get buckets. Yeah, do his thing. Do his thing.
Dog, I'm telling you, I'm starting a campaign for KD this year.
Hey,
my next chapter.
I'm not lying to you. I'm starting this year.
Because there are teams like that all over the league where even the Bulls, there are teams like that all over. Didn't the Bulls do that this year?
Yeah.
Didn't they get DeMar DeRozan because of this, exactly what we're talking about? If the Pistons can find themselves in a position like that after a successful draft, and we've already heard that they've said that they're going to use their cap space, maybe not to sign somebody, but to also potentially bring in a big trade piece. That's something that we know Troy does. That's the reason why we got those draft picks. It was a sign and trade with Christian Wood. If something like that happens, that makes me ecstatic.
Yeah.
That makes me excited.
Absolutely.
Top 3, top 4 pick, trade Jerami Grant, and then be able to trade for KD. Hey, I'm all for it.
We're getting KD.
I'll say, I'm not going to say no to any top 5 player in the NBA, man. They can all come here. But to your point about Golden State, that's a great point because they really didn't go make it. I mean, when they first got the whole crew together and they were all very young, they went out, they signed Iguodala.
And
a couple other guys. They had I don't know if they already had Sean Livingston. They had Sean Livingston coming out. So a couple guys already. They had Harrison Barnes. All these guys they drafted. Yeah, right. And they had them making less. So when they finally, all these guys are up for contracts, they paid them accordingly. Now Steph wasn't making what he's making now. All these guys weren't making what they're making now. But to your point, when they saw Kevin Durant, they had all this money available to at least go out and be like, listen, KD, come into this culture. We're already winning. And then, obviously it catches up to you because in a couple of years, you can't pay all this guy.
They had the money and the draft picks.
Had them both.
They had them both.
It's crazy.
They had them both. And
we
got a
organizations
GM
right
who's
there.
going to have us in the same position.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Seriously.
100%.
So where we don't have to close, go out there and sign aging superstars who can't even command a 30 or 40 million. Like, what if Phoenix, we keep talking about DeAndre Ayton. We keep talking about who we're going to put next to Cade. What if Troy gets the big man he wants in this draft, or he gets the 4 or whoever else we're going to draft, and he just says, you know what? I don't think Phoenix really is trying to rock with Chris Paul like that anymore.
Devin Booker.
I'm serious. Well, Devin Booker, we know that they're going to continue to do it. That's who
Devin KD coming here.
About that for a long
Don't
time.
want to chip. Kevin Durant, Cade Cunningham,
But I'm serious.
and KD is happening.
But what
Use that team in 2K.
What if that was something that was available? A Chris Paul next to Cade Cunningham, a draft pick, Sadiq Bey. We keep saying we need that point guard next to him. I believe that a Chris Paul here right now is a little ahead of his time. If we were a little bit better team,
no,
drop him in
100%.
right now, and I think we'd be better than Phoenix.
But that's the point. You're only a couple pieces, man. Like you need. I think a lot of it has to do with, and that's why I'm fine being patient because these guys got to get better. Like you said, it's not the time right now. Like if you put Chris Paul on this team, like you got Cade giving you 17 a game, like wait till next year. Cade will give you 22 a game. Then you have Sadiq possibly giving you close to 20 a game. Then in a year from now, you had another lottery pick. Maybe Jabari Smith, Chet, whoever it is, Paulo. They get better, and then we could talk about who you could drop with this clan of guys that are just so talented. So possibilities are endless, man. You can go out and get one of those guys.
This summer, we're looking at the core.
Kevin Durant.
We're looking at the core, which is Kevin Durant. How do we get KD and Devin Booker to Detroit? That's the plan. And so this year we just had.
You get one, the other's coming for sure. I'm just letting you know.
So we're not spending too much. We're going to keep it cool. We're going to trust Troy Weaver in this draft. We want to prioritize what? Draft picks, multiple draft picks, second rounders. What does he do after the draft? He goes out and signs 3-4 good players. We still got players that we still have to take more extended looks at, like Carson Edwards and such. So, hey, at least we're in safe hands. At least we're in good hands. At least we're going to get KD.
It's the process.
That's the process.
That's
We
the
got to get
process.
it.
Yeah, it's the
I'm
process.
serious, but
That's the process.
hey, I think this was a good conversation this time.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
We got some stuff that we're going to bring up next time when we get Rod on. But
and we have that lottery show coming up too. We're going to be doing.
yes,
It's going to be different. Everyone who's tuning in right now has to go watch it. It'll be live.
Last time?
I think so.
We'll be up in the studio doing it live lottery.
We gotta get Detroit. Everyone that was here when we got the luck last time, we gotta get the
shout
same
out Detroit
people
Drew
as
man.
well.
His energy was electric.
But I just want the luck. We gotta recreate it, man.
Yeah. No, I got all the stuff. I got the banner. I got the ball. I got Lucky.
Bear.
Yep.
Sean's
I got
coming
the
in.
jersey.
Yep.
Sean's gonna be here.
Yeah,
Hey,
we got a
need
whole
that.
crew on that desk.
We need that. All the Woodward Pistons.
Everyone we had, the guests, contact them too. Say, look, this will be the last year. We got Cade. Let's do it again.
Hey, can we have tickets for people to
Why not?
take out here? They can sit in a little.
Yeah, I don't
open
see
area.
why not.
That's true. We can do a whole part.
Hey, we'll see what we can do, man. I think that'd be dope. But any last words, gentlemen?
No, honestly, I got nothing to say till the lottery because then you'll hear a whole lot of talking.
Oh yeah.
After
Oh yeah.
that.
Oh no, we got a special guest coming on too. We do. 3 shows in a row.
Who?
What for the draft? Oh, Mr. Rashad Phillips.
Oh, the man.
So
Yeah,
we
the
got to
one and
recreate
only.
it, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
Got to recreate it.
Absolutely.
Got to
Rashad
recreate
Phillips,
it.
the man
He's
himself.
gonna come on. He's gonna give us a lot of draft coverage. Pistons talk. Anthony, our Woodward Pistons draft expert. That's Mr. Anthony there. That guy knows these players. He's doing a lot of research. He's doing a lot of everything really.
He runs one of the most informative Piston pages on social media.
Yeah, and he's put out profiles on Chet, Paolo, and I believe Jabari already. And so definitely go and check that out.
Shannon too, isn't it?
Shady Sharp, yeah.
You did one on Shade and Sharp as well. Hey, go and
Pretty
check
sure.
that out. Pistons
At least
Talk.
you
It's on his
watch
channels.
Yeah.
Go and check that out. Support the Woodward Pistons crew. Hey, for Jeff, the Morning Woodward Show alum over there, he's a legend of his own. And we got Mr. Easy, Speak Easy here. He does everything. And you see over there, the first podcast
Yes,
to
sir.
be recorded in the studio. Woodward Heavyweight.
Yeah.
Hey, and we cannot end the show without saying, hey, Mr. Legend, I know you're not here to get your flowers right now, but we're going to make sure that we end this thing correctly. I am Detroit Kool-Aid, but for the legend here, let's get the drum roll. Hey, Rob Beard.
The man.
I think he was happy. Hey, I think we got a rise out of him this time.